Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. Today, we've got a video about another off-the-tour-out space that I don't think we've ever showed off before. That is the ship's photo lab. So for those of you following from the blueprints at home, we are on the O2 level at the extreme aft end of the superstructure. Okay, so right behind us is flight control, and that's turret number 3 back beyond that. So this little vestibule here accesses not only flight control, but also the photo lab, which interestingly does not have an internal door accessing it.
And Rick just handed me a camera and said, just come back in about an hour, show me what you got. So that was it. Gave me the camera, went out, just walked aboard ship, just started taking some shots, came back, processed them, made them some prints, and I mean, I proved myself that I knew what I was doing. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Yeah, let's put the paperwork in." And I can't remember if it was maybe a month or two, whatever, but I got the approval through the chief and so forth, whoever the line of command it had to go through, and I got approved, and I struck out of deck and on my way to be with the photographers.
So why does the ship have a photo lab at all? In the 1980s, when this space was most recently used, we're in the middle of the Cold War with the Soviet Union, and they've been rolling out some new ships and aircraft. If we encounter any of them, many off-duty crews possible would rush up here, be issued cameras, and take pictures of the passing vessels or aircraft so you can see what new equipment they have. Maybe it's a new make or model, maybe subsequent ships in the class are different from preceding ones, and that'll help you identify which ships are in which areas of operations and what new technologies the Soviets have developed.
Send me up there, my old Vivitar 35mm camera. I'm ready. They're counting down. They're going to shoot the missile in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Smoke and nothing to look at. Came back down off the smoke watch, and he said, "How'd that picture of the missile come out?" I said, "Did you really think you were going to get to take a picture of a missile?" Pretty funny.
In addition to photo intelligence like this, the ship also has a ship's signal exploitation space where we would be tracking the electronic signatures of these vessels as they go by, or aircraft. But this is old school stuff. This space also has a dark room where you can develop the footage, and it's not exclusively for that. The ship, throughout her entire career, had photographers' mates assigned aboard, and those photographers' mates would take pictures of the ship's everyday activity for PR stuff, for onboard publications, for sending back to Big Navy. You name it, they would have documented it.
Boy, you name it. Everything that goes on this ship needs to be documented. Okay, needs to be archived, kind of like this interview right now. Mm-hmm. But from the dignitaries, the many dignitaries that came on board, I had to be right there at the quarterdeck. As soon as they were crossing that quarterdeck, shaking the captain's hand, I had to be right there, taking those pictures. And there were many. The captain had his the parties or the whatever they had with any kind of celebration that was going on. Sailors who were getting awards. If someone reported a slander on the wall, they wanted pictures of that. Unfortunately, we had a couple deaths on the ship while I was here. One of them, I was assigned to take pictures of. So you name it, they wanted it documented.
And they could have developed pictures and then used them for things like the ship's cruise books. So, let's go into this space. A disclaimer, we had a volunteer years ago before I started working here who was in the process of restoring this space to open it to the public. He has since passed away. The space is not fully restored yet. And until very recently, it wasn't on any tour route. So it still has not been open to the public, but it's on my very short list of spaces to get ready. Come on in. So, here we are in the photo lab. I'm not entirely sure what this space would have been used for initially, but the drawers are filled with equipment. This is probably not period equipment. This is probably stuff that was being used for the restoration of the space. The rack in here still has books on it. Again, I'm not sure if this was here when the ship was decommissioned or if it was all added as part of the restoration of the space. It seems to be the appropriate stuff, but all that stuff could have been taken to another place and then brought back here later. It's unclear. Here's a display of some cameras. I believe they were from his personal collection. They're not necessarily associated with the ship, although the time period is correct. This is the photo film locker, which I guess is different from a video film locker. It looks like we just have an air conditioning space with some modern aluminum shelving built in. So, here's another section in the photo lab with print processors, video cameras, and more equipment. Again, this isn't necessarily the original equipment. This is stuff that was donated that's period appropriate. It's interesting that they cut a number of holes in the bulkhead back here when it was turned into a photo lab. And additionally, in this space, which may have been used as a darkroom for development, here's the film development tank. This is equipment, or original equipment. And notice that they cut a hole in this bulkhead that separates this space from the passageway out there. There is no door to get from the passageway here. You've got to come outside into that vestibule. The door that was here is no longer here. It does have a darkened ship switch, but it's just a regular joiner door. It's not a watertight door. So I believe that this was originally an exterior space, and when they added the flight control, they plated everything up to it, creating this interior space, which is why there's no door from that passageway in. One of the things that makes me believe that is this circle cut into the middle of the space. This is part of the tube for the Mark 37 5-inch gun director above us. As built, that tube was exterior. So they've just built this space straight around it. I haven't been through the older booklets of general plans to see where a photo lab might have been on the ship prior to the 1980s. Potentially it was down on third deck where the print shop is now. Or potentially they used that space for both. It does have its own darkroom in there. Maybe they wanted a space up in the superstructure as they start to film more Soviet ships in the Cold War. But access to this space isn't all that great, so I feel like it's just as quick to run down below the third deck, get cameras that come up, as it would be to come back here and get stuff. Any of you guys have an interest in photography? Do you have any of these types of cameras? Any photographers, mates out there from the Navy? Let us know in the comment section down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, and also from a number of businesses and private individuals. If you would like to continue supporting us, there's a link in the description down below. We really appreciate the support. It's allowed us over the last year to go from making 1 video a week to making up to 5 videos a week. Remember to like, share, and subscribe so that you're notified when all that content comes out. Thanks for watching.